Hello and welcome to the Aaron Russos podcast. Today, I want to talk about fragmentation, and specifically the fragmentation of our own reality. And I'm talking about science that we know, we can see, we can measure, but it's not commonly known, not commonly shared. We all know that our nervous system, obviously, we don't realise how connected the nervous system is to the bigger picture of things. If you look at my book, The Absolute Theory of Everything and the Source Within, there's a lot of explanation around physics, quantum physics, and how these mechanics of life works. And if we knew how receptive our nervous system was to signals and things going on around us, we would understand that fragmentation, or the information that we're taking in from our five senses around us, make more of an impact than we could ever imagine. And it's part of the reason why a lot of us are stuck in a pretty mundane, average sort of life, because you don't get growth through doing the same thing. You get growth through change. That's a fact. I'm not talking about any woo-woo here. I'm talking about anything that can be practically applied and seen at any stage with any person. We're not talking about people with any extrasensory powers than any other person living on this planet right now. In fact, that is the case, and that is something that I have seen with my own very eyes, and also being someone of very low, what you would call maybe an academic or intelligence in the world. It's really proves that my theory on the facts. So what I'm talking about with fragmentation is someone tells white lies, or deceives you in a little way in bits and pieces. These things, your nervous system picks up on them. Your awareness doesn't, because you're not connected to yourself. You don't have a good, you're not sitting well within your skin at the moment. You're in the indoctrination of fear and news cycles and works and habits and addictions, and your life, it doesn't matter who you are, is one big form of dysregulation that is further away from who you actually are. And we see this every day. We see people with, just feeling not right. That's a form of identity crisis. You are actually something that you're not. There is a true self in there, but to get to that true self, there is a process, and it goes through, transmuting fears, insecurities, wounds, traumas, childhood, all sorts of stuff. And it's such a process, and it's so uncomfortable, and we don't like to be uncomfortable. We don't like to sit in pain. We like to avoid it. And that's a fact, and that comes from a level of understanding, a little consciousness of where we are today. So look, it's not bad, it's just the way it is. We can't there's no point in actually honing down on finding out the reason why it's like that. You can, if you want to understand why you don't understand who you are, but it is what it is. And obviously from today onwards, the things that you can do, we all know and have heard people talk about, you really are affected by the 5 most people you spend the most time with. Now, if those people are narcissistic, liars, even innocent little white lies, manipulative, negative, aggressive, all these, see this constrictive, negative energy words that I'm using, that would affect a person. We all know when we've walked into a room and someone's on edge in that room, that affects us as well. So you can see how we're affected by other energies. And just in the same breath, I'm going to explain that if you walk into a room and everyone's laughing, it's contagious. It lifts your mood. You feel lighter. You feel more expanded. You feel more, you trust a little bit easier. But it's a different energy. Laughter creates different chemicals within your system than aggression, right? It's you know this sort of stuff. You can feel it, but you don't take it right down to this small, I guess, level of understanding. You know it's there, but you go, oh, I can't do anything about it. I can't do about what the people I hang out with. Some of them are family. Fuck, how can you change your family, mate? Just because they're negative, assholes. Well, sometimes you have to, because that's so bad. To think that that your actual family could be part of the problem, and a lot of people don't. They would rather stay with it's like the Stockholm syndrome. They stay with their oppressors. They stay with their negative family, and they don't realise how much it actually wears and tears in the long term into their lives and their own personal lives. And so we know all of these things, right? But we still don't know how to apply them into today's terms. And it's a bit of there's a lot of things in life that are like this, but it's a bit of a conundrum, because we all know that loyalty is a positive thing, right? Having a good long-term friend, and you learn together, and you take the highs and the lows, and you ride it out together, is a good thing as well. So you don't want to give up. That's the thing with biology, and that's the thing with what I'm talking about. There's biology within us as well that does certain things, whether it be driven by ego, which is a survival part of us. There's so much going on, so we don't want to give up either. Determination and compassion and all these things. We're a range. We're a fluid, being with all these things going on. So you can't say with absolute anything really when understanding this. But the one thing that you can do is you can do the work yourself. That's one way to actually cut through all of it, is make the best possible version of yourself, and everything else around you will fit into that picture. It will align. And I can also say that I've seen and proven this also, as being someone who projected and tried to change everyone, tried to see everything out there, tried to push my beliefs on other people. And then when I stopped and I turned inwards and I just went, oh, fuck them all, I'm just going to do me. I'm going to do me well, and I'm going to do what I want. I'm not going to sweat the small stuff. If I have a fucking bad day or, failure, I'll just put it down to that and move on. There's lots of things going on as a human being, but we just take them all so literally, or if we're traumatized, we are triggered and react completely differently to other things as well. And it's okay to be human, but I think we put the emphasis on a lot of the wrong things, and we find ourselves going, I have a fragmented understanding of reality. And, when you live in a world as well, which is, heavily, look at technology these days, heavily relied on. You get online, and whether it be through scrolling, through different forms of social media, there is so much fragmentation, there's so much distruth, there's so much that just simply isn't there for your benefit. there might be a very small percentage that is there for your benefit to help you. So therefore, once again, it's a range. It's good to be informed, but it's not good to be inundated. It's good to have a little look, but once you get, we all know we've been down those rabbit holes with doom scrolling and all the rest of it. That's no good for your nervous system. It's no different to having an aggressive person within your, group or circle or family, and so, we really, not many of us, out of 8 billion actually know what the true self is, and live by that. Once again, it's because our biology can be hacked. They can hack into our biology and market to us and make us buy things that we don't even need. Now that should give it away, but it doesn't. And I'm not saying I'm any better than any of you as well. I've been smoking cigarettes for 30 years. I've given up for a few years now. But I've been and succumbed to all of these things and had experience in them. I'm not talking from someone in a righteous position saying, oh, you shouldn't do this, it's bad for you. I'm saying I've been there, done that, seen that, done things that would absolutely scare the shit out of you as far as transmuting negative energy, transmuting traumas and fears and wounds and all these things that you wouldn't even want to start because it puts you in an uncomfortable space and you can't even sit in pain for 5 minutes forced, let alone go and do it off your own back. That's like an impossibility, right? There's not one person that would actually want to get off their own back and this is what I do, sitting in a beautiful life, got nothing wrong whatsoever, and then go and face their fears, their wounds, their traumas, and heal them. Sit in the pain. Go and actually put yourself in the fire. What's the benefits of that? Once they're gone, once you've dealt with them, it's like a life lesson. Once, the same patterns of behaviour keep coming up in life, as soon as you deal with them, they're gone forever. So down the track, that will never come into my life again. That's a benefit. You get to know yourself, the true self. Every person that I've taken or helped or whatever that goes through, whether it be through numerology or other forms and combined, meet the true self, fall in love. They go, oh my God, I'm actually a really cool person. Yes, you are. The true self is someone that, everyone loves because it's actually you. Without those fears, without those wounds, you're very content. Your nervous system is completely different. You are not in survival mode. You're not reacting. You're not triggered. You slow down and feel more content. You learn to laugh again. You learn the beauty and joy in the small things. There's so many benefits. But humanity as a collective is at a very, very low level of consciousness and at a very early stage in its infancy. As I guess if you're in a school called Earth and the end game here was to graduate this planet, then and playing this game, then humans would be in their infancy, so they wouldn't really, like the things that I'm telling you are things that I've had to develop and go through over a lifetime of self-inquiry, looking inward, learning about the system we belong to and how our human system works and everything. So this is really fucking traumatic for people listening to even the greatest gurus on earth, or even people that think they are, and have a rough idea about or not just about their own chosen field, but I guess as the whole shooting match, the meaning of life for the whole thing, I can honestly say, hand on heart, they have no fucking idea. Everyone. Not one fucking person, not the greatest fucking mind, not the most spiritual fucking person. Maybe there's a couple of fucking gurus have very, yogis that are up there. Like, I'm talking a handful of people out of 8 billion people here. The rest have no fucking idea. And I have spent my lifetime on this, which is once again in books and throughout all literature that I write and things that I do, and I still know nothing. I'm still an absolute, you're a baby, a newborn baby in this system, and I'm a toddler. And so it's easy to see moving forward that there's a lot of growth that's going to happen. There's a lot of things that we can do. And there's a lot of things to make it better. And obviously we have this mechanism of duality and polarity and things on earth, the yin and the yang. And, you can't have the good without the bad, because you wouldn't know a thing, but things that happen that are bad bring us to the good. It's a whole big thing going on here. And I guess the first, part of this is just being aware, just going, oh, there's something bigger than ourselves that's in play here. And, you have an emotional guidance system, right, within you. If something feels right, it probably is. If something doesn't feel right, it's not. Those lines can get blurred through addiction and fucking, things that aren't natural, that are enhancing or, affecting our biology. But at the end of the day, if you sit there now and you go, you know what, something just doesn't feel right about this world, about this life or whatever, you're probably right. And I don't think there's many people that would sit here and go, you know what, everything's pretty cool. I understand who I am, what I'm part of, whatever. No. The majority of the 8 billion people on Earth are nowhere near a level of understanding what's going on. Yet, even some people who think that they've done something or studied something, or they think that, they're at a thing. I know they're not, because you can't study something physical and not understand the mental or the soul part or the energy part and think that you know the whole shooting match. The reason why we can study, that we can research and try and find the cure to a disease like cancer for 50 years and not come up with one single cure of anything, just treatments and medications that we can sell, is because we're only dealing with 33% of a human being. We're dealing with the physical part, but there's another 2/3 to that human being. We don't say what is a human system in its optimum state of homeostasis. We don't start with that. No, we start with the sick one and we try and put a treatment on. So it's completely back. And once again, the simplicity of it all, and then we live in a world where if someone like myself comes up and goes, oh, you know what, homeostatic alignment's where it's at, it's not a treatment, we can just get our body to a state where we already cut ourselves at heels, we break a bone at heel, everything is geared towards healing, but we're just not in a state that enables us to heal on a greater level. Once again, there's ranges. So therefore, what we do is we keep looking in our limited space for the limited answers, and that's why no one's come up with anything in 50 years. You think about it, every resource in the world, trillions of dollars, the million greatest minds on earth, and they can't come up with a fucking answer for that? That's disgusting. If you were running a business, these people would be out of business. They're failures. Failure after failure after failure, right? Because they're dealing with the physical. They're not dealing with the whole human being. They've got no idea how the mechanics and what other things do and how it all causes and whatsoever. They can come to me and ask me and I'll tell them the full picture. But I'm saying that's the reason why we've got no answer. And then someone like myself comes along and goes, you know what? These people are the biggest failures in life. I couldn't live with myself spending 50 years or dedicating my life to finding a cure for cancer and not even coming close in a lifetime with all the resources and all the things in my life. But I haven't fucking looked everywhere, right? I've only looked at 33% of a fucking human being. And, you know, what's that definition of being fucking crazy is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result? These people are actually mentally retarded. The greatest fucking what you class as, you know, these people that you trust to entrust with your fucking health, they're fucking retarded. Now, I come along and I say this and you're all like in a lower state of consciousness. You don't know what's being done to you. You don't care because you're in survival mode. You can't even fucking get through this week without working out where the money's going to come from to pay the bills and put the food on the table. And you go, oh, that guy, he's mean. No, that guy's the only one that cares about you out of 8 billion people. He's not the mean one. Your fragmentation of reality is warped to think that that is a problem. I'll give you another example of fragmentation of reality. The day before was Anzac Day here in Australia. Now, for anyone that's around the world, Anzac Day is a day of remembrance for war veterans. Now, I have many people that I know. I don't know why I have to fucking explain myself all the time. But I have many friends, I've lived in different places that have army bases. I've cooked on army bases and barracks, and I've lived with people in the army. I've done all sorts of stuff. But it's 2026. We have resources. We have amazing things. Where I live in Australia, like, we don't have guns. We don't have, it's not like fucking America. And we had this day of remembrance where we go and we remember all those fallen soldiers. Now, it's a beautiful thing, right? To go and remember people that have served for their country, and they say, well, these people actually are responsible for us having the freedoms we have today, that we're not enslaved or we're not this and that. Yeah, that's great. But we're toddlers. I mean, I'm a toddler. You're a newborn baby in a system in its infancy. And part of that graduation of that system is the first step out of it is people not killing other human beings anymore. What's the need to kill another human being right now? The most important thing to any person on the planet is family. We have enough resources. We have enough technology, know-how, intelligence to act, and people and land and everything for us all to live abundantly for as long as we want. So why is there a need for anyone to go and kill another person? And it's governments, countries, big, and these people, right? You think about it like this. I have a son. There's no way I would say to my son, yeah, mate, go and join the army, go overseas, get killed for your country. What the fuck? You'd have to be the stupidest fucking idiot on earth to do that right now with what you know today. Yes, in the old times, you got conscripted. You had no choice. You thought you were doing the right thing. You got propaganda. You've got indoctrinated into a system. You think, we are in 2026. We have no reason to go to war with anyone. Why do people go to war? Because they have communication and they can't get to, like at school with the bullies, right? Why do you punch someone? Because you can't communicate. So we're saying we're so fucking dumb that we can't communicate and come up with a world that we all live peacefully together. So let's fucking send a bomb. Let's fucking kill innocent people that have had nothing to do with this whatsoever. You have no idea in this system, this period we're going through and been through, it's going to be called the barbaric times in the future. The times where hundreds of millions of people over 2,000 years have been killed for land, for titles, for what? It's a stage we have to go through. Life is very slow and very in its development and understanding and whatever. But at the end of the day, once again, we've had what we've had. We didn't know any better. That's the past. Draw a line in the sand and go, well, today, in today's terms, with all the resources, with everything that we have in the world, that everyone could live as a billionaire, a millionaire at least, to have a system where communication breaks down and we can't come to an understanding with someone, and so therefore we have to go to war, and then everyone, not the two people that's decided to go to war, they don't, very rarely do they get taken down, but hundreds of thousands, if not smaller things, thousands of innocent women, children, people that had nothing to do with the decisions being made by negative people that can't communicate. That's all it is. What sort of a fucking retard can't communicate to another human being and come to an agreement? It's because they don't know how, right? The only reason why someone doesn't do something is because they don't know how. The only reason someone like me can come up with new discoveries for old problems is you need to add something new. And it's something that hasn't been added before. And it's called compassion. I can get an old problem, add compassion, and come out with a new solution. They don't know how. The leaders don't know how. Your reality has been fragmented to such a point where you don't know what the truth is anymore. You don't have the tools through your 13-year education system in any country that has taught you everything on how to be a compliant, slow, customer, dependent. Didn't teach you how to be a critical thinker. Didn't teach you how to sift through the yin and the yang and work out where the yin is. It didn't do any of that. So therefore you don't have the tools, the discernment to work out what's right and wrong for you. Now everyone, regardless of whether you're a mass murderer, whether you are a saint that goes to church every week, everyone knows in every act what they're doing, what's right and what's wrong. Okay? Even if you're on drugs, you're affected by alcohol, all sorts of things that people do and back out. At the end of the day, we all know what's right and wrong. And so to be in this position where our reality is so fragmented that we can't see the right and wrong, or we don't want to, or we can use excuses to not look at it, we can avoid it because our nervous systems are fucking so scared into a fearful survival state that we don't ask the right questions to preserve and promote and improve and grow humanity into a beautiful existence. No, we let people go to war. We sit in our lounge rooms and watch it on TV like a movie and watching kids die. Now, if that was your kids, you wouldn't be sitting there watching it on a TV, would you? But you've accepted it. What sort of a person accepts that? Someone that doesn't know how powerful they are. Someone that doesn't know that you have more power in your sovereignty than you have given yourself credit for. Someone that's not well, someone that's been torn down, someone that's tired, someone that's in survival mode, someone that just, seriously, fucking life is not, we are driven. I said it the other day, it's seriously, when you see what I do, you walk around and you just see people going, me, hi, me. With such a selfish driven world, one of the greatest, I guess, characteristics of all human beings, all humanity, is compassion. And there's a very lack of it. When you make every decision going, is this good for me? Is this good for the greater good of everyone? If you make decisions with that as the first question or first filter, then you will watch the world grow into something that you could only dream of. But you don't know that, right? You don't know that. You might think or look at the world and go, well, bullies have been bullies and been fucking giving us no say in anything. The person with the most money, the most power, the most, strong, has been ruling. We know it's not right? We know that's not right in the bigger picture of things. We know that bullies, people with the most money, the people that fucking trick us into buying shit, people that fucking push us around, make us do things against our own will, that's not good. But sometimes they've got so much money they can keep themselves in a place of bulliness, or whatever bullies are called, and we know it's not right, but our reality is so fragmented that we accept it. We accept that reality to be lesser of a human being, and to let some negative force dictate to us what we can and can't do. And because of the way it's wrapped up in propaganda and wrapped up in indoctrination and wrapped up in education and wrapped up in expectation, we feel as if we are powerless to do anything against it. And that is a fragmented reality. It is completely false. It is completely untrue. The only reason someone doesn't do something is because they don't know how. And now we're in a time of accelerated change. We're in a time of accelerated shift. People are feeling things. People are different. It's in my book. These things are well documented in my book, like the theory of everything so far. All these little things, the shift, the ancient calendars, the cycles, the things that, we all might say, oh, it's a bit woo-woo, but hang on a minute. 2000, these cycles in astrology go every 2,150 years. Now, the last time we had this influence, according to astrologers, was when Jesus was here. Okay, so we're in an accelerated time of shift, just like 2,000 years ago. And what's happening? Well, you're all in survival mode, so you're all fragmented, so you have no idea what's happening. When you actually take yourself out of the world and you sit back and you look at everything going around and you see what I see, there's people all around the world without a doctrine, without a prophet, without a leader, without an organization. They're all thinking the same thing. They're all starting to awaken to a grander reality. They're all starting to do more for themselves. They're all starting to look outside of the fragmentation that they belong to. And the person that was in Sweden and the person that was in England and the person that's in Australia and Tasmania are all on a Zoom call, and they've all got tattoos saying 111, 444, 1111. And I'm asking them, where did you get that from? Where does that come from? So there is a movement all over this planet towards something that is breaking away from the template that we've had for a long time. Just because you have only seen bullies and you can't see beyond it and you don't see anything beyond it, doesn't mean they're always going to be there. Things will change and that change is upon us right now. The way that you can contribute to making sure and accelerating this change to get to a life that we all dream of is, one, go within. Start putting filters on yourself. You can filter and achieve some great things in your life by simply going, I want to be a doctor. Everything I do, I wake up every day and I go, I'm going to get this. Is this going to get you closer to being a doctor? Yes, do it. No, don't do it. You'll eventually get there. It's a mathematical possibility, and it's a mathematical impossibility if you do that it won't get you to where you want to go. So we have filters that we can use. We have an emotional guidance system. Does it feel good? Does it feel right? Yes, do it. If it doesn't, don't. We have lots of things that we have at our power to do to make things better. And all these things, I'm telling you, make your life so much better in a shit world. You'll look out and go, wow, I don't really care. And it's not really for you to care about everyone else. It's not really for you to look at humanity and go, wow, look what they're doing to themselves. It doesn't help, right? That energy, once again, like aggression, like people that are crazy or whatever, no one likes that energy. So when we're bringing ourselves down in vibration to that level, that's what all these fucking gurus and that are talking about. We just don't understand the mechanics of it. We're actually creating more of it. We're like every human, every 8 billion of us on Earth is like a living organism, in a range and fluid and floating and stuff. So you can influence and have a better life by going in with yourself. You can apply some filters and you can start being aware of things that are not serving us as humanity. Just think, is that right? Critically think about stuff. Fuck, if we've got every resource in the world, like if 5% of everything that was spent on COVID could house every homeless person on the planet for the next 50 years, but yet we're not doing it, then it's not the people that are a problem, it's the system. And most systems that if we actually analysed all the systems or governments or you would find that they're all outdated. Things become quickly outdated on this planet. My grandfather would drop me off at the movies and give me $5 when the tickets are $22 now. Things that our grandparents did, the way they educate us, the way they brought us up, the way they disciplined us, they're outdated now. There are new ways to do things based on an expanded consciousness about expanding humanity. Like it's not relevant anymore. They might have done things in more of a dictatorial, do this because I tell you to do this. Do as I say, not as I do. That's not acceptable anymore. Hitting kids, and we evolve and grow. It's very slow, but we do evolve and grow. And now, in this time where everyone all over the planet, without a leader, without a doctrine, there's nothing guiding anyone, instinctively, internally, everyone wants better. There's things happening and we all can't see it because we're stuck in survival mode. So that's what I wanted to share with you today about fragmentation. We're all living in this fragmented reality that is caused by whatever it is. It is what it is. But we can wake up a new day and start from tomorrow and move forward.